Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michelle Bensini, and I am your host today. Welcome to our Career Connection webinar. Our guest speaker today is Daesh Bagley, Director of the IT Coding Academy at State College of Florida, and joining her will be Caitlin Bachmeyer and Kate Thomas. Today's session is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel within 48 hours. A link with this recording will be emailed to everyone who is signed up. This is a webinar format, so all your lines will be muted. You can ask questions by going to the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen. We will leave time at the end of this to answer those questions for you. Now, before I start, let me tell you a little bit about Women's Resource Center. We've been empowering women since 1979. We have 3 centers across Manatee, Sarasota, and Manatee and Sarasota counties. They're located in Bradenton, Sarasota, and Venice. We have served 1,700 clients, over 1,700 last year, with over 5,000 hours of programming. Our goal at Women's Resource Center is to engage, educate, enrich, and empower women of all generations. We do this through programs and services at no cost or low cost. We offer our clients resource advising, mental health counseling, career services, educational workshops, programs, and scholarships, legal and financial consultation and education. Since this webinar is about careers, let me tell you about our career programs and services here at WRC. We offer one-on-one career coaching. That may include resume writing, networking techniques, computer tutoring, interviewing skills, along with job search tools. We have 2 career closets that clients can go to for outfits and accessories for their interviews and work. They are located in Bradenton and Sarasota and are open Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. Once again, the session's being recorded and will be linked on for our YouTube channel once we are finished. After the Q&A session, please stay on for a quick survey that will help us with future programs, as your input is very important to us. And now it is my pleasure to introduce you to Daesh Bagley. Daesh, go ahead.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you very, very much. Glad to be here. Are you able to see my screen okay? Tell me one more time. All right. Awesome. You guys, I'm Daesh. I'm glad to be back with the Women's Resource Center, sharing our amazing alternative pathways for careers for women. I want to start off by saying this boot camp that we're going to talk about, as well as careers in cybersecurity in general, are not just for women, but we are thrilled to have the Women's Resource Center as a platform for us to talk about our programs. I am Daesh Bagley, Director of Advanced Technology Center here at State College of Florida. I am here at the Coding Academy on the 2nd floor of 26 West at SCF Bradenton. Joining me is Caitlin Bachmeyer. She's a software engineer from Silent. And a little bit later on, we'll be joined by Kate Thomas, who's a technology professional, as well as a Coding Academy student.
Daesh, can I interrupt you for one quick second?
Yeah.
You do not have your presentation on the screen yet.
Oh, so you can't see my presentation yet?
No.
Then let me start again. My apologies. Let's see if I can share. Okay, let's see. I'm going to just share the whole screen. How about that, just to be on the safe side? What about now? Are you able to?
Awesome, thank you.
All right, cool. And then if I do this, are you able to see that now?
Yes, we are.
Cool. I wanted to welcome everyone today. Just to say that if you are interested in cybersecurity, this is going to be a great webinar for you. Sometimes those words can be a little intimidating, cybersecurity. Many times we don't know what it means. We have no idea what the career entails. We don't even know what preparation is required. And so we hope to answer those questions today for you. Between myself and Caitlin, we hope to share with you more about cybersecurity careers. I'll talk about the training preparation part, and Kate Thomas will share with you guys some of her experiences with the Coding Academy. Cybersecurity training doesn't always follow a traditional path. With the right skills, mindset, and continuous learning, you can unlock the quote unquote secrets of the cybersecurity world, and you can make a difference in our digital society. We want you to recognize that whatever background you're coming from, as far as careers or education, cybersecurity can be for you if the task and the job descriptions that we talk about actually fit your personality type and your passions. I'm going to let Kate talk more about what cybersecurity is, but just for the purposes of us sharing these slides with you, I wanted you to have this slide just so you can refer back to it. But Kate will talk more about that. Caitlin will talk more about that. And if you're just wondering, are there jobs available? We're here to tell you that there are jobs. There's a growing need. There are lots of cyber threats, and we do need creative and diverse minds to help combat those evolving cyber attacks. And with that, I am going to turn it over to Kate and allow Kate to share with you what cybersecurity is, what type of careers are out there, and all that good stuff. So Kate, I'm going to stop sharing. Yeah, and then Caitlin, there you go. You unmuted. I'm going to mute.
All right, very good. Thanks, Dash. I am going to... There we go. Sorry, 1 second, please. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay, here. How about now?
Yep.
Yes. All right. So my name is Caitlin Bachmeyer, and I work for the cybersecurity firm here in Sarasota called Silent Group. This is just a little blurb about Silent and the kind of content and the kind of work that we
Caitlin, do. I'm going to pause you for just a second. We're seeing your actual slides, and right now you're on slide number 9.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, that's correct. Sorry. Here, there we go. So here is Silent, just a basic rundown of like what Silent is and the kind of work that we typically are contracted and are employed to address. And it's really surprising. I was not expecting to have such a sort of powerhouse like a cybersecurity firm here in Sarasota in Southwest Florida. But you know, Silent does have a pretty reputable profile and resume for dealing with some pretty high-end, pretty high threat rate, and they deal with a lot of engagements and with clients that are both national, international, from your mom and pop, like local company to national entities, national organizations. So we deal with projects that are dealing with forensic analysis, which has a lot more to do with like your hardware. If something were to be like compromised on a physical machine or server, or just like your physical hardware that you would have at your house or on campus at your office. And we deal with incident response, which is, hey, I just got an email that said all my stuff is locked out and I've got a ransom. What am I going to do now? And, you know, those are more of the quick pivot, really immediate deal with it right now, kind of put out the fire style of incidents that we have a whole team dedicated to deal with and manage. It's specialized specifically in that. And then we deal with just companies maintaining, needing to make sure and ensure that their cybersecurity and technology systems are in place and uphold certain regulations and standards for local, federal, and state security practices and protocols, and to ensure that the data that they manage, store, and provide to end users are like protected, so that they, like it's not accessible or easily accessed by anybody who is not supposed to be there. But I started working at Cylent just under 5 years ago, and my job is primarily application development. And as of the past year and a half, I've been working more focused on developing the application assessment vulnerability, but more like the AppSec application assessment program, to run application assessments and check for vulnerabilities and see what kind of data and insecurities are available in just your any application that may or may not be developed. And that's me.
Cool. You can keep it going, Caitlin. I'm just going to let you do your part of the presentation.
Oh, cool. All right. So with that being said, I will continue to do screen share. All right. So with that being said, the type of work that I typically that we categorically deal with are either with commercial release style of development, or internal development, or client engagements. I'm going to kind of skip through that. But this is this is what I wanted to get to, which is what I've learned so far within this job and within working as a woman in a pretty male-dominated environment, is that there are a lot of opportunities for women in this environment to bring a unique perspective to the problem solving that is managed and dealt with within this environment. There is a lot that is communication and understanding, and more contextually understood, that I think that I've really enjoyed. I've really enjoyed being put into into circumstances where I've needed to learn and understand, and it's much more how systems and learning systems, how they communicate with each other, and figuring out where they're not communicating, or where there are communication gaps in systems. And by definition, those are potential vulnerabilities and security flaws that are ripe for cybersecurity analysts and cybersecurity minded individuals to point out and identify as something that needs to be addressed. And this could be a large network, like a IT network. This could be a small application. But anytime you've got systems interacting or working with each other, exchanging information with each other, then you have the opportunity for communication gaps between those two systems. And that's where security vulnerabilities and cybersecurity threats typically evolve and have a foothold in this sort of technological environment. But personality qualities that I found to be really important as far as working in this environment is a lot of humility. This is a really ever-growing, ever-evolving subject matter, which is really exciting and brings a lot of new material to your desk and in front of you at a very high rate, which is it's a lot to take in. But I really enjoy the diversity of that work. And I think that if you are someone that has a want to constantly kind of move and learn and kind of consume new information, then this is a field that is well suited for that individual. You've got to be curious. You've got to be. It's more along the lines of sort of like hunting for bugs is a common issue or a common quote that gets kind of thrown around. You're just constantly on the hunt for little discrepancies in how systems are set up and configured so that you can investigate them further and figure out what's going on and how it works, why it does things this way. You're constantly asking questions about why and how things work the way that they do and systems are the way that they are. But there is a huge basis of knowledge and information that you need to like refer to and use. So working with a team and having a team to lean on and communicate with and collaborate with is a massive quality and skill set that I think is critical for everyone's productivity. I think that within this environment, finding a team and finding a group of people that don't have the want to prove that they're better, but prove that everyone can contribute well and everybody, you know, the collaborative aspect of this entire problem solving basically career is heavily skewed in finding people that you can collaborate really well with. Not one person can do this job alone. This is a very multifaceted and very multifaceted career. And to have a lot of perspectives looking at one problem, you have the opportunity to see and solve problems that you may or may not have even known were there or existed before. So I always say it's a team sport. It's something that we all do together. It's something that, you know, you can throw your heads, you can be staring at one thing for so long. You throw your hands up and you ask a colleague and you say, hey, I'm done. I can't spend another second looking at this line of code. Could you just check it out for me and see what I'm missing here? Because there's definitely something. And they can, you know, with a fresh set of eyes, you know, kindly be like, hey, you know, I think this might be it. And, you know, lo and behold, it might solve the problem you were looking at. But all in all, I think that this is it's a really rewarding career. I think that there is a lot of benefit, and for me, what I've taken from it is that it's a pretty feel-good career because you're really creating a significant impact for your client, and you're helping to protect what they have and the maintenance and the continuity of that product or their company. So that, you know, a small school system can keep and make sure that they have all their funding for the next year and not gonna get hacked by some malicious actor who's gonna send an email and hijack all their funding or whatever it may be. The line of work that is done is for people, for companies, and with the goal and intent to protect and make sure that people's data, people's companies, people's livelihood are preserved from a technical perspective. And you know, that's really something very important because these clients have a business that is not necessarily technology, and technology is critical for business to run. So you can help people to do their job and allow them to focus on their business while supporting and making sure that they have a security and confidence on a technological side of their company and are supported in that way as well. But I've just really enjoyed learning, getting into this field. I think that there are a lot of opportunities here in Sarasota, in Southwest Florida, and that having a cybersecurity or security mindset with technology is a critical skill for everybody to have. And it's important for all ages. And it's can be broadly applied. It doesn't necessarily need to be applied in, an IT job or going and getting a coding job, but just operating on a day-to-day basis with a mindset and with the knowledge of security context and being aware of how systems work and where there are weak points in systems and how to be aware of them, how to be mindful of them, and to communicate them. Not only protects yourself, but protects whatever company you may be working for, whatever business you may be working for, whatever family member is eager to like click on that link that gets sent in the email. So it's a useful skill set that I think is I think that it should be base knowledge. I feel like everybody should have this information as a means for confidence of operating in a technological world. Sorry, I think that's it for me.
Thank you, Caitlin. Daesh, do you want to introduce Kate?
Yes, I actually have a slide for Kate. Hang on, Kate. I got
okay,
a slide
wow,
for you.
slide for me.
Mhm. I'm just going to share my whole screen again because I feel like that is probably not the best as far as
Ooh, that
cybersecurity
looks
goes.
just like me. Oh, sorry.
It's really, but I think for the time that we need here. All
Ooh,
right. If I'm sharing my screen, Kate, I'm going to just start from this current slide and let you go for it.
okay, cool. Well, last summer, I think it was about this, no, it was a little bit earlier. I think it may have been in May. Dash had a seminar for a coding academy. And I was just at the bottom of my life. A lot of stuff had happened, and I didn't have any confidence that I could find a job. I didn't have a place to live. I just ended a relationship, or had it ended for me actually. And I was just lost. And I did have IT experience, but it was old. But my confidence was so low, I couldn't even imagine anybody would hire me. So I applied and I was able to get a scholarship, and I think Dash will tell you about that later. But it was, the class we had was, I think it was all women. I don't think there were any men. There might have been one. No, it was all women. And it was just it was well put together. It was easy to just mark off and see that I was making progress. I ended up getting a certification, and it basically just helped me start rebuilding my confidence that I could learn, that I could change, I could become current, I could become employable, because I hadn't worked in 15 years full time. I'd done a little bit of teaching, but I was taking care of family and doing that type of thing instead. So I felt like I was starting from scratch. And that's where the course met me, was, just getting started. And almost all the women in there, I think I had more experience but it was past, but almost everybody in there had very little current experience or was employed or in IT. I think most people have jobs. But it was just great. Afterwards, I started building my confidence, and I started applying for jobs, and I started working part-time, and then I was able to finally move into full-time this spring. And I'm slowly building my life back. And a lot of it's because, this just gave me a platform to get started on. And so that's me. That's my story for the Coding Academy.
What are you doing now, Kate?
Right now, I am working for a Jesuit order. There are a bunch of, they have it their own school, and I'm going through their data, analyzing it, and looking for ways that they can improve student learning. So I'm basically doing data analysis, and then also I'm starting to teach again. So I'm going to start teaching next week, the week after next. And so I'll start teaching a course for Ivy Tech, just a basic getting started in computer science. So I'm plugging back. My life is okay. I've got my own place. I'm safe. I'm, making friends again, and life is so much better than it was a year ago. And also for the just the Coding Academy, but the Women's Center was amazing in helping me with helping to get a resume together and helping to get clothes for interviews. There's just so much there that they have to help, and it's an amazing place.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Kate, for sharing. And we appreciate you taking time out of your day. We know you're supposed to be someplace else, and yet you took time to be with us. So thank you for that. And Caitlin, thank you as well. Caitlin has been a speaker at the Coding Academy for some of our students who are in our boot camps now. So she's helped provide the day in a life of, and what does it take to do this job, and that sort of thing. So we appreciate you, Caitlin. We appreciate Silent for being one of our industry partners. We are going to just give this quick definition of what is cybersecurity. It's the practice of protecting computer systems, like Caitlin mentioned, and networks from digital attacks. She gave some great examples of what some of those attacks could be it a link in an email that you click on, unknowingly, and that particular email allows someone to gain access to your computer, to your network, and cause damage. Cybersecurity involves detecting, preventing, and responding to threats. So think about that when you're thinking about this career. You're trying to detect, prevent, and respond to any type of digital threat. And you're trying to figure out, is this malicious, or is this the case of Daesh forgetting her password and typing in the wrong password 10 times? So is it an attack, or is it just human forgetfulness? Cybersecurity professionals are the guardians of our digital world. We call them superheroes. They are the superheroes that protect us from ourselves a lot of times. And Kate mentioned a great point that regardless of whether you're thinking of having a career in cybersecurity, or if you're just trying to increase your own knowledge so that you can help others be aware of threats that are cyber-based, continuing education is a great opportunity. As the director of the Advanced Technology Center at State College of Florida, and being the one that helped lift the Coding Academy off the ground from the beginning, I like to let you know you don't have to have a traditional background in technology to excel in cybersecurity. You can choose free resources that are online. There's a website called InfoSec. And Kate, if you have that link, if you'll pop that into the chat, the InfoSec link for folks to get more information. Caitlin, I keep saying Kate and Caitlin. Sorry, y'all. I got two Caitlins on the panel today. Caitlin, if you can pop that InfoSec link into the chat so that folks can see lots of resources that are available for you to look at and to research if this is something that you're truly interested in. We want you to think outside the box. And then we just want you to remember that it's not so much, am I good at math, or am I good at science, or I'm really not really great with this or that. What we want you to have some great problem solving skills. We want you to be attentive to detail, and we want you to have a passion for technology. So when trouble comes your way, you're not throwing your hands up in despair saying, oh, I don't know what to do. I just don't understand it. I don't know what's happening. We would really like for you to be the person that says, ooh, something's broken. let me look into this. Let me see if I can fix it. If I can't fix it, let me Google it. And if I can't Google it, let me call somebody. Let me ask. We're hoping that our cybersecurity professionals are the ones that aren't afraid of a challenge, and they're willing to dive deep with humility, recognizing that we don't have all of the answers, but we have an attitude that wants to try to find the answers. So you're the person that enjoys the puzzle. You're the person that enjoys the crossword. You're the person that does the Wordle, and you compete with your husband on a daily basis, or you compete with your partner on a daily basis. That's me. I compete. And you're competitive, right? You sort of have that competitive spirit of you're not going to win this one. Whoever you are on the other side of your computer, trying to mess with our clients, trying to mess with our family, trying to mess with our company, trust me, you're not going to win this one because I'm on watch. I'm the cybersecurity professional that's tasked with the job of overseeing our systems. So we want you to have that passion for cybersecurity and that passion for a career in information technology. And at the Coding Academy, we love highly motivated students. At the Coding Academy and State College of Florida, we work hard to try to find the funding. We look for grants. We look for opportunities to help people help themselves. But we need highly motivated students who are going to take advantage of these opportunities and use them to benefit their careers. And that's exactly what Kate did. That's exactly what a lot of our students do. They see the SCF Coding Academy as an alternative pathway to gain a foothold into information technology, and then they are self-motivated enough to keep it going.
Excellent.
So with that, I'm going to dive into our Cybersecurity Bootcamp website. I put the website here on the screen. And Caitlin, if you can type that, the only thing to remember, it's cybersecurity-bootcamp. So, and then there's a QR code there as well for those of you that want to take a scan with your phones. But as Michelle mentioned earlier, there will be a recording of this webinar, and there'll be the slide deck. So you'll get this slide deck as well.
Daisha, I've got a few questions for you. I think the first question is for Caitlin.
Cool, let's do it.
Yeah, Caitlin, can you tell us what your academic background is and how did you get into this field?
Sure. So actually riding on the tailcoat or the coattails of what Dash said, I did not intentionally seek out technology, excuse me, as a career path. Initially, I went to Florida State as I went to a middle school and high school for technical theater. Went to art school my whole life and went to Florida State for a Bachelor of Science in Technical Stage Design. So that was my initial intention. But I started taking some classes in web development, and I started taking some classes that were more engaging to me, and I really liked learning about something that I didn't have any context or real knowledge about. So it was a really foreign subject to me at first. But what I really liked about it was that if you build a website, like you get immediate feedback, like you can go in and play around and get immediate feedback on whatever color you changed, on whatever wording that you needed to manipulate, or any function or feature that you developed with your code. You get immediate feedback from that. And so I really, I enjoyed that creation, the development of it. And I got really into that. And that really excited me. So I switched my major and ended up finishing here at University of South Florida with a bachelor's degree in IT and technology and application development and security. So it's not something that I intended directly to get into, but I figured there's so much of the world right now that I engage in as a user technologically. Like I use applications, websites, I use all of this stuff. And there was something about not knowing how it worked and a drive to want to know how everything worked, why the systems worked, what about it made those systems work, that really drew me to this kind of career path. And I was lucky enough to, and when I first started, right after I graduated, I worked part-time for a local web designer. I worked part-time for a couple of different small companies that were local. That was like a one-man job that kind of needed a little bit of extra help on the side. So I would just kind of work with him for as a part-time job, just to get some experience and an idea of what kind of work requests were coming in, and to kind of contextualize what getting a real, like a full-time job would feel like, and what the expectations of that job would feel like, and to kind of bolster my understanding of being in like the tech world, as someone who had never really grown up in it. So it was kind of it was a little intimidating to me. So I sort of tiptoed into it in a way and found that it's a really accepting, really encouraging group of people that, as I mentioned before, everything's changing and everything's new so often that nobody's an expert really on anything because everything's changing too often for that to be true. So it's a really exciting opportunity to kind of keep your mind active, keep your problem solving skills really sharp. And those two things alone I really liked. And also I really liked that I didn't have to go and, you know, initially my thought was like, oh, like the only tech is what, like out in California or in these major cities, those are like the big tech hubs. But every company has an IT department. Like you can't get away without an IT department nowadays. So there's always going to be like a local company that you can see if they need some extra help. And what I liked about it too is like you enter in through the tech, but there's so much that you learn about how the company and the businesses run, and the sort of like the context of that company. So I worked for Michael Saunders for a while when I first started here in Sarasota. And I learned a ton about real estate that I didn't know that I would need to know, but now I've got, you know, like that information in my data bank. And each time we work for a new company or a new client at Silent, you have to learn a little bit about how the company works and how the company functions and the technology that they use and how that's different than how you thought it was. And it's a really, really exciting opportunity for those who are, for the curious mind of problem solving.
Okay,
I hope that
if somebody is signed up for Dacia's class and they're doing really well, is your company doing on-the-job training?
my company does. So as a like personally right now, I do on-the-job training all the time. And I think that all of the companies that I have worked for so far have provided time for people to learn what they need to learn. You don't have to know everything right away, and that's really not the expectation. What I've found from going through interviews and through hiring people is it's really about the personality that you bring to the table and who you are as a person a lot of the time. You don't need to have a lot of the people that I work with don't have degrees, you know, like they don't have that traditional route of or pass to or through college to be where they are. They have a really keen interest in what they're doing and drive and motivation to learn and figure it out. Because frankly, that's what we all have to do on the job. You're not going to run into the same problem twice. So you're going to need to figure it out, and figuring it out is a huge skill set, and wanting to figure it out and not throwing in the towel too soon is a skill set, but in and of itself.
You mentioned not having to have a degree. So the next question would be for Dacia. Is there a certification that they will, that the students will end up with when they finish the program? And what's the time frame or the length of the program?
The boot camp is 6 months. It's through the Lifelong Learning and Workforce Development Department. It's not associated with the SCF academic side of the house. So you're not earning a degree, you're not earning an SCF certificate. You're earning a cybersecurity certificate from State College of Florida Coding Academy, from the State College of Florida Coding Academy. The certification that's built into this bootcamp is CompTIA Network Plus. Our industry partners have told us that the CompTIA Industry Certification Network Plus is a good indicator of skills. And so we're excited about that.
Are there scholarships available?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, that's part of my presentation. You want me to keep going?
Yes, please.
Awesome. All right, I'll keep going. Hey, I'm sharing my screen. Can you guys see my Cybersecurity Bootcamp webpage?
Yes, I see it.
All right, very good. So I'm going to start with funding because that was the first question. And so under funding, we have grants called Cyber IT Pathways and the Open Door Grant Opportunity. I'm going to go to the Cyber IT Pathways website because there's simply a link that says you're interested in more information. So it's Cyber IT Pathways. If you're interested in a scholarship, we are using scholarship funds that come from the state. We're using WIOA scholarship funds, and then we have some in-house scholarships that we can offer. The boot camp itself is $7,500. It's over a 6-month period. We do have industry partners come in and talk to you. We do take trips to other companies to see what their software cybersecurity jobs are like. We call it job shadowing. And so we have mentorship in place. We do not have job placement in place. So what we do is we help you with your resume. We introduce you to our industry partners. We talk to you about getting that Network Plus industry certification and help you with that. And then we expect you to network. Use every person that we're introducing you to find out who they know that might have a job opening. Some of the jobs are going to be local, Sarasota, Manatee. Caitlin mentioned that there are lots of opportunities, and then other jobs are going to be in the Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg area. But it all starts with getting your funding in place. So you would request information from us about our funding, or you would apply now for funding, and it simply says you're just interested. You know, that's your request info. There's another that says apply now, and you can tell us exactly what you would want your funding for. You'll notice that cybersecurity, intro to cybersecurity course is available. It's a 30-hour self-paced course. You do it all on your own, and you're just learning about the technology, the vocabulary, the type of scenarios that you would have to detect, defend, and mitigate. So that intro to cybersecurity course is 30 hours. And that's a nice intro course for anybody that's thinking about the boot camp in general. I highly recommend that one. But then at the same time.
Sorry, Dej, any special age limit, 18, 21 to start?
Oh, good question. Good question. For scholarships, it's always 18 and up. We have had, right now, we currently have some 16-year-olds that are taking our intro to cybersecurity course just because they like it. But as far as scholarships, it's always 18 and up.
Yes. What is the time commitment for the cybersecurity? I know it's 6 months, but how many hours a week and how often are they meeting and that type of thing?
Oh, good. So as far as the time commitment goes for our boot camps, well, let's start with the timing. So the next boot camp will take place November 7th through May 28th. They are going to meet on a Tuesday and Friday night. One cohort met from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. And the cohort, the students that are in the boot camp now, are meeting from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. We don't know the timing for the one that's coming up in November, but you can imagine it's going to be in the evenings, and that's 4 hours, 4 hours a night, 8 hours a week. Outside of that, you could expect to spend anywhere from 15 to 20 hours a week outside of class preparing. The way the boot camp works is on Tuesday and Friday evenings, there's a live instructor, and that instructor is going over the previous week's information. So everything that you were working on that previous week, now you're going over this week, and this week you're working on next week material that the instructor is going to cover. There are simulations on the software to help you see exactly what a cybersecurity scenario would look like. And they're teaching you how to use various software applications to help detect, defend, mitigate, remedy. Mitigate just simply means remedy a situation. How do you fix it? Can you fix it right then and there? What are some things that what are some steps you would have to take? And so our hands-on cybersecurity bootcamp gives you that tangible experience to help you gain those skills.
Dacious, that class or this boot camp, for the state of Florida only, or can that be anywhere in the United States?
The scholarships are for Florida residents only,
Okay,
but the boot camp can come from anywhere. It's hybrid. So some students are purely online. I will tell you, the instructors are online. Our current instructor lives in Texas right now. And so he's coming to the students through Zoom to offer the live lectures. Some of the students enjoy being in the classroom with us at the Coding Academy just because it provides structure. They know they're not going to get distracted. They're not going to go home and have to feed a cat or walk a dog. They're not going to be bothered by anyone while they're trying to listen in on the lecture. So some students prefer to come on site and be with us in our classrooms. Other students, they're staying at work. I heard of one young man, he got off from work at 5:30. There was no point in him leaving. So he simply stayed where he was from 6 to 10 p.m. with permission from supervisors and whatnot. And he stayed there online. And then other students have a nice quiet space where they can study from home with high-speed internet, because that's important. A lot of times you're working with the curriculum at the same time that you have your Zoom open, at the same time that you might have Google open to Google some answers. So you want to have a pretty decent computer and a good internet speed if you're doing it online.
thank you.
You're welcome. And yeah, Michelle, just keep popping those questions at us. And if it's a question for Kate or Caitlin, by all means, go for it.
Take a look, Dash. I think we may have answered everything. Somebody has mentioned Kate, saying that your story is inspirational. You mentioned the Women's Center, Women's Resource Center, I'm gathering. Is that correct, Kate? Is that how you started?
Yes, I went in originally for the legal services, and then I got on the mailing list, and from there, that's where I found out about the first seminar.
And did you say that you did receive a scholarship from Women's Resource Center?
I received it from SCF. I'm sorry, I didn't mean, yeah, the actual scholarship, I believe, was through Bank of America. Is that right?
Yep.
Yes.
It was a partnership with SCF Coding Academy and Bank of America. Bank of America provided the funds for that. And then they also, Kate, did you get a laptop?
Yeah, I did. Yes,
Awesome.
and that helped me a ton because it was very hard for me to do the class because I didn't have a computer. I'd lost most of my belongings. And so I did most of the CAP courses at the library, which was okay. But, you know, having a laptop made it so much easier to start looking for jobs and to refresh skills and things like that. So the whole thing was just amazing.
Well, that's awesome.
The other thing I wanted to mention is that you don't have to decide exactly what you're doing every week. You can change week to week. You can go on campus one week and work virtual another week. So it's very flexible.
Nice. What we decided at the Coding Academy, and I'm very thankful to our staff, is that we're going to be available so that students can depend on us. We are not going to try to depend on the students to show up or not show up. You just never know what happens from week to week. So when we offer a class and we say it's online or in person, that means we're going to be here in person. If it's 6 p.m., 9 p.m., 11 p.m., if it's on a Saturday, our boot camps also take place for some other courses. We have boot camps that are on Saturdays. We're here. And I appreciate State College of Florida for giving us that flexibility to be here for our students, even if it's 11 p.m. at night because a class is going on. And I appreciate our staff members for having a passion and desire to help people get where they need to be by sacrificing their time at night as well. So I think we have a great group of folks here who are really, really passionate about those alternative pathways to help you gain the skills you need for the career that you want. That's what it's all about for us.
Thank you. Dash, that was awesome. Caitlin, thank you for joining our webinar today. And Kate, thank you so very much. As I mentioned at the end of this, within 2 days, I believe we're going to get a link out to you on YouTube. And if you'll stay on, we appreciate if you'll answer a quick survey for us. And also for all of our viewers, Women's Resource Center has a digital navigation program, which will help you with computer information, website, or getting high-speed internet, getting that computer, different things like that, as well as our employment section, which will help you with resumes, which is important. Kate, you had mentioned that. But thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we so appreciate you. Until the next time, have a good day, everybody.